This is the plaintiff, Matthew Turk. He says he hired the defendant to install 5 flat-screen TVs on his walls, and one of the TVs fell and crashed to the floor. The hot-headed defendant accused him of being a scammer, of ripping the TV off the wall, and then threatened he was going to come over and rip the others down. Bottom line, this hack caused him $1,266.34 in property damage, and that's what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Robert Ferrara. He says the plaintiff is playing games because he gave him a bad check, and he knows the guy pulled the set off the wall and can prove it. He's installed over 3,000 TVs, uses huge anchors, and is being scammed by this guy, plain and simple. He's accused of not bolting it in.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Matthew Turk, you are suing Robert Ferrara and Variety Television Incorporated. You are suing them for $1,266.34 in damages that you say you incurred when TVs that they put up in your house fell off or were installed improperly. So tell me what's going on.
Yes, Your Honor. I purchased a new home approximately 3 months ago. Moved into the house. I needed to have my televisions reinstalled in the house. I asked my daughter to look on the web to find a local reputable service, and she did. We found Variety Television. I explained the work that needed to be done, hang 5 flat panel televisions throughout the house, 4 in the bedrooms, 1 downstairs. So finally got them to come over. I set a date, which was for install, we agreed upon, which was August the 6th, did the work, and started putting the bill together. It was $250 for the deposit. I gave him another $800, so it came out to $1,050 total.
And then what happens? Get to the bad stuff.
He asked me if I'm giving him cash or a check. I said, well, I'm not in position to give you cash. You know, it said even, I'll give you a check. I said, but I have to make sure that the funds are available Monday morning, so I will post-date the check for Tuesday. I said, the funds should be there on Monday. I said, but let me check and make sure that they're there on Monday. So I have a copy of the post-dated check for Tuesday that he used. And that Monday morning, he called up and said, I tried to cash the check. It's not available. It's not working. I said, Robert, I said, I had to check with the bank and make sure the funds were there. I said, I'm working right now. Give me some time until noon. And I called the bank, and I found out the funds were not going to be there until Thursday.
Why?
Because it was.
Why are you writing him a check he can't cash?
Because, well, I told him it was post-date. I had to put the money in the account.
I know you said so, but how's that? Well, okay. So the funds aren't available till Thursday, and then what happened?
Called him. He called up. He gave me a profanity-laced tirade, screaming at me, yelling at me.
This is when? Well, you can't even control yourself here. So stop, okay? But control yourself. You're in court. Go ahead.
So we went back and forth a little bit, and Robert was over the top. And I finally called him late in the afternoon and said, the funds will be in on Thursday. And he said, well, if that's what it's going to be, again, profanity, I'll come, I'll cash it Thursday. Well, I called my bank Wednesday, and the funds came in early. So I immediately called Robert and said, the funds went in early, you can go cash your check today. Okay? He didn't. He went to cash it on Thursday. That's fine. But when he went to cash it, it still didn't work because I mistakenly gave him a check from the wrong account. I have 2 accounts. I gave him a check from one bank, and the funds went to another.
And you don't, because I have to tell you, it would be hard for me to control my profanity lacing with you. If, in fact, I did a job for you, I got to pay my people, and 4 days passed like that.
Understood. And I agree. But now he also said to me,
I probably would not speak to you with lacing profanity, or maybe I would. But I would understand somebody else would, and you're not really in a position to get all indignant about it, are you?
I agree.
So now it's Thursday, and he has no payment, and what you gave him was a worthless piece of paper. It's never going to have funds.
Well, the first check I gave him. So then what happens? The first check I gave him.
So you immediately drive to, do you guys have a storefront?
We have an office.
An office? So you drive to their office to give him a good check, right?
No.
You make them drive to you.
He came and got the check, and he got paid.
Okay. And then what happened?
That night I went to the store, and I got a call from my daughter who said, Dad, you're not going to believe what happened. The television fell off the wall.
Is your daughter here as a witness?
She's not. She's in school in Florida, but I did send in a notarized letter from her.
Let me see the notarized letter. What happened?
She said she started hearing creaking and sounds, and all of a sudden, boom, the television fell off the wall.
Totally off the wall or
Totally.
partially off the wall?
Totally.
Do you have a picture?
I do. This is the mount from the wall, fell off. This is the television fell off. And I have the pictures.
Thank you, sir.
These are called what?
Your Honor, those are called snap toggles.
Right.
I have some paperwork to show you how they work and what they're designed for, and how much weight each one holds. And they come in the kit with that mount.
They come in a kit with that mount. Do you have the instructions for the kit with that mount?
No, but I have all the snap toggles, what weight they hold.
Yeah, I know, but I'd kind of like to see whether are these supposed to be put into studs?
The way he wanted the TV mount, there was no stud because he had an outlet put in. I went, first of all, at the beginning, now, when he called me towards the end, that's when he finally got the money. He gives me a check for TD. So I went there on a Thursday. I give him some more time. I went there on a Thursday, and I said, Val, because it's my bank also, the teller. And I said to her, can you just, I don't want you to deposit, because I want to hurt him for $37, whatever it might be for the fee, for a bounce check. Right? So she says, no, there's no money in here. So I went outside. I never cursed at him once. I don't do that. I've letters from customers that, you know, I'm not like that. Anyway, I called him up, and I says, Matt, the check is no good. What's up? Oh, you're at TD Bank? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The money's at Citibank. Can you come down to my house, pick up the check? He never offered to come bring it to me. I had to go down to his home, get the other check.
How far was that?
It was about 15-minute drive from where I was.
Picked up the other check.
Picked up the other check. We discussed everything. There was no profanity laced, nothing. That's why I have no idea what he was talking about. Okay, so why would you say,
okay, if you guys were like, you know, on the verge of beating each other up, then I could see that he would rip this out of the wall, which is what you think happened, in order to not pay you because he'd be vindictive. But if everything is so calm, then why
I think what happened here is there's a very narrow space where that TV was mounted and where the bed was. And that's a pull-out mount. Somebody either, I don't want to be malicious and say ripped it off the wall, but somebody either bumped into it.
Well, but a pull-out mount is a pull-out mount. It's supposed to be able to be pulled out.
Right. But if you bump into it, walk into it or, move it the wrong way too hard, of course it's going to break. And
what evidence is there of that? If everything was so peaceful between you guys, then it looks like the thing just fell off the wall. Is this the only one that fell off the wall?
Well, another one was getting ready to fall off the walls. I have the pictures there. I actually
Let me see the pictures.
Had to take the mount off of that one before it did also.
Okay, what is this a picture of?
That's where that television fell off the wall. And you clearly see...
Hold on. Slow down. What kind of drywall is this?
Very cheap. There's no screws along that 2x4 to hold that sheetrock up. So whoever installed that sheetrock...
Is this a stud?
That's a stud.
Why couldn't you just put one of these in the stud?
Because you couldn't, because of the post-wall four-way outlet box there. You can't go over any further. It wouldn't fit.
Did you explain all that to him about the studs and all that?
Yes. Each toggle holds 260 pounds, Your Honor. And I put 4 of them. That's a half a ton. It was either ripped off, knocked into, or manhandled to come off the wall like that. I installed over 3,700 TVs, and I never lost one. This is the first time that I'm losing 2 in one house after 5 of them.
Why are you saying 2? He says one is
Boeing. He's saying loose also, he's saying.
Okay, this is where it fell out of?
That looks like the one he took off.
Yes, that's the same picture.
Same picture, just a little further back, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are these the pictures of the other?
Yes, Your Honor. That was a different mount, and that was the sheetrock, as you can see, was also coming out.
Your Honor, that was pulled.
What's coming out of the sheetrock?
That was pulled on,
That is clearly pulled on, because
was
that's somebody taking it apart. Just a minute, I don't need your help. Because you're concerned about it or whatever else.
Yes, correct. I was.
Do you have any expert testimony from like another TV service that says that these were installed incorrectly?
I have documentation I printed offline from Samsung and from Home Depot that says when you mount a television, you should put it in a stud.
Well, of course you should. I know that. Everybody knows that. But that doesn't mean that people that it is not an accepted practice to use the toggles instead.
Correct.
They're not screwing it into the wall. They're using, that's that thing, the toggles are the thing that opens up on the inside, right? Like a butterfly.
Yes, so they're snap toggles. Your Honor, I have here the first and second application. Douglas?
it didn't matter to you how thick the drywall was because if you're using 4 of them, you assumed you multiplied their weight bearing by 4, and that was well within the capacity.
Plus, also to fill the holes and make it look neat. You know what? I never lost a TV ever.
Did you sell him the mounts too?
Yes, I picked them out. That's what the deposit was for.
I mean, look, I'm not stupid. I know that everybody prefers to mount it in a stud. It's just, what do you do next if there's no stud in the spot the customer wants it? I get it. But are there instructions on how to mount it?
Of course there is.
And do they say stick it in a stud?
No, if you do it the way what each case calls for. If the stud's not there, you use the toggles. If the studs are there, you use screws. If it's cement, you use different types of anchors. There's many different ways of mounting televisions, and I know every which way there is.
Snap toggle anchor is a heavy-duty hollow wall anchor for use in walls, ceilings, or floors of materials such as gypsum board, drywall with a steel stud, concrete block, tile over drywall, etc. Do you have the purchase order for the actual arms of the TV?
No, but I didn't bring that with me. They were made by, if I remember, Sanis. Very reputable company.
Say it again.
Sanis.
Okay, so...
But they're all the best stuff I use. Nothing but the best.
You are suing him because you want a new TV.
Yes.
What's wrong with that TV?
It does not work properly now. The sound goes in it. Sound goes in and out.
I know you brought it for me, but I can't plug it in.
I brought it for the weight, you're right, and so that you could see the weight, because the weight of that and that is what did it.
Let me get closer. Is it damaged anywhere?
Just the sound doesn't work. The sound goes in and out. So physically, the screen does not crack or anything. Just when turning on, the sound doesn't work.
And how old is the TV?
The TV is probably about 5 years old.
And you want, rather than the replacement value of a 5-year-old Panasonic, you want the money to buy a brand new Panasonic?
Well, I need a new TV, so I had to replace it. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make
and then amount owed for contractor to repair the wall. Do you have an estimate for that?
I do.
And then what's the $210 amount owed for fallen TV?
Well, each television came out to $210 to install that I paid.
Okay.
The
so you want
service.
for the fallen TV and for what you are deeming the loose TV. Did you take a picture of the loose TV before you loosened it and took it off? Because the picture I have.
Yes, it's in there.
Thanks, sir.
You know what? I think that television was in a stud. He took the screws out.
Take a look at what he's showing here, okay?
Thank you.
Explain that to me. He's saying that the reason why he took that one down is because the wall was buckling.
This TV was ripped out, Your Honor. There's no way that could happen.
Why would a person rip out the TV after you're gone and you're paid?
There was definitely a money issue here from the start.
Yeah, but why not then not pay you and then say this is why I'm not paying you?
I understand that, but I was not trying to be malicious or anything, but I can see this was definitely being pulled out of the wall.
Court's in recess.
All rise.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, do you believe the defendant that the plaintiff ripped this off the wall himself so he could get a new TV?
I don't think he would do that. I don't think anyone would do that in their right mind, unless he was really desperate.
But he's got a TV that works.
Yeah, as a facilities manager, I can tell you it's crucial that you anchor to the wall correctly. And
there you go. And it wasn't anchored right.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Okay, and you get the last word.
I don't see why he would really do it if he was gonna...
He'd be insane to do it, right?
Yeah, it's the TV that he already has. Why would he need the money for it?
And why would he pay the guy for the installation in the first place? Makes no sense. Going inside the courtroom.
Right. How many TVs would you say you've wall mounted?
3,700, maybe not every 3,500.
All right.
And never not one of it came
Not
loose.
surprisingly. I went on the Sanis website for these mounts, and they have a huge red label that says, caution, do not install in drywall alone. Look at me. You couldn't get a more sympathetic judge. My father was a developer. My brother's a developer. I understand construction. And I know, and I'm a lawyer, so I know their lawyers told them, put a big red flag that says don't install in drywall because they don't want to get sued. And I know that these anchors can take a whole lot of weight. I get it. But when I have the case, the rare 1 in 3,700 cases, and I am sure you know what you're doing because you've done it this way, and I know that they're overcautious because I know you can, I'm sure you're good at what you do, so I don't want you to misunderstand, but when I have a case where the mounting instructions have a huge flag, and they say that, and the guy has already paid you just a few hours ago, you've got your money. I would have to believe he went around ripping TVs out of the wall, which is really weird. You have the affidavit from your daughter also?
I think I handed it in.
On Thursday, my father left the house to go to Target. I was in my bedroom when I started hearing a strange noise, creaking, cracking sound. Next thing I knew, my television fell off the wall. All right. I'm going to order the return of $210 for the installation of one TV, $210 for the installation of the other. For a 5-year-old Panasonic, I am going to award a very generous $100 in depreciated value because what you're entitled to is the value of the item at the time of the damage, not a brand spanking new one, because the idea behind court is to make you whole, not to put you in a better position than you were in before the bad thing happened. And your drywall estimate is for $400, not $450. You added in your own handwriting $50 for paint afterwards. So I'm going to award $400. Plus, you're not going to be painting because you're probably going to be putting a TV over that anyway. But you're entitled to the repairs of the walls for a total of $920 in damages. $920 verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff does prevail. He gets $900, not $1,200. Here comes Mr. Ferrara. You step right over here. Let me ask you something. Isn't it the toggle bolts, those specs are for pulling straight down, supporting weight? What about not considering pulling it out, right?
By 40 pounds.
We've used these so many times in the past.
Well, I know. So, anyway, it doesn't make sense that he'd pull them out of the wall. Why would he do it? To you it does, but to the judge it doesn't.
From the beginning, Doug. It's been a monetary from the beginning. That's why he did it.
He'd already paid. Well,
and he did it before, I guarantee.
I'm sorry. Look at the team you brought to court with you. They didn't do you any good.
It all comes out at the end, Doug. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. On your way out. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Comes Mr. Turk. You didn't pull a TV out of the wall, did you?
No.
I mean, why would you do that?
Exactly. Brand new house. I've been there 3 weeks. Why would I damage my brand new house I just bought?
Okay. Well, are you satisfied?
Somewhat.
You didn't get all you wanted, but you got enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you got $900. Hey, you're only $300 short of what you wanted.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Nice having you. Harvey?
So, look, Doug, the defendant ignored the warning labels that were right there on the package. This is almost automatic negligence.